What's up, and welcome to another episode of Talk Your Shift. I am Mel.
I am Danielle.
You took my line. I am Danielle. This is the imposter.
Imposter!
Yes, so as you can hear or see, we have yet again another guest. Dom, would you like to introduce our guest?
Yeah, I guess. All right, now, this is Danielle. Do you want your last name?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want your middle name?
Oh my god.
Yes.
This is Daniela Kate Farrington, and she has been my best friend for over 10 years now, right? Yeah,
Yes.
since like 2008. Yeah,
Yes.
so we've been best friends for like, saliva, forever. And we met in elementary school, and funny side story, I did not like her at first because she always got called first to go fucking put her coat up, like, and she always went to the cubby first, and it would piss me off because I'm like,
recollection of this whatsoever.
every single time she'd be first.
But she got to go first and that bothered you because
It was every time. Every goddamn time, because you went to the cubby and then you could leave. So I'm fucking sitting there every time, like, last, and I'm like, why the fuck does Danielle
She get to go first.
Every time!
Probably me skipping on my lunchbox.
She's like, tra-la-la.
not even thinking, just like living your life, and she's
Yeah.
like
I got my-
rage in the background at her.
my
Just like
hater
the
behind
crayons
me.
are breaking in her hand.
She's literally like,
It's like, I hate that bitch. I don't even know what that word means.
Literally. But yeah, so I did not like her, and then because how school is, you have to invite everybody in the class. So she invited everybody in the class, and I only went because my other friends went, so we went bowling, and then I ended up sleeping at your house, because I guess, like, I was like, oh, she's cool.
You know how Latinos are, there's always an after party.
Yes.
After the said party.
Yes.
So
you
we had
gotta-
the after party. It was like, whoever wants to come on down.
Yeah.
And Dominique came.
Yeah, and
And she ended up sleeping over.
yeah, it turned into a sleepover, and I fell asleep under her bed.
Yes, we were watching a movie. I don't know how Dom ended up under the bed.
But I did.
But the next day, it was just like, you okay down there?
Yeah, well, I was like, where am I? But yeah, so this is Danielle. She is a medical person. So if you have any medical questions, you can consult with your primary care physician.
I don't even work in primary care.
Yeah, GI.
GI, yes.
Yeah.
If you got GI questions.
She's a GI Jane.
Very nice.
But yeah, so this is Danielle. She loves K-pop. And yeah, she's just a really cool human being. And I appreciate her a lot. She's like a sister to me. So yeah, no, it's true. I do. I love you a lot. I do. I do.
It's very rare to see you show.
I know.
sentiments like
I
this.
was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know.
You know.
But yeah, so.
When she has her moments of being vulnerable, it's like, it's so sweet.
I
'Cause
know,
It's,
and
it's
then
like
when
the
we
little kid that like is always like running amok, and then all of a sudden they come from terrorizing to like they want to
Hug you, yeah. They'll be like, you're just like,
but then they push you and then they like leave.
run.
That's
it's like, hugs you, it's like, all right.
But yeah, so that's Danielle. She's super cool, super hip, super trendy. She likes makeup.
I do.
Do you want to tell them a fun fact about yourself?
Let's see. What's a fun fact about myself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 9 tattoos, I think. Yeah, 9 tattoos. You can see. They're a little previewed. Some are not visible for the cameras. All right. Okay, but overall, this is the newest one because I love disco.
Oh,
Disco Diva.
nice.
You can't tell, I'm a tatted up girl and I love tattoos.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. How are you doing today, Dom?
You know, this is actually really weird. I'm just seeing Kevin laugh. Our live studio audience today
It's
consists
Kevin.
of Kevin.
Party of one.
Party of one. I don't feel entirely tired. Like, I feel tired, but I feel past that point. But I feel excited to go to work tomorrow. I don't know. I like the challenge of my job. I mean, sometimes it makes me want to punch. But
I feel like we're still recovering, or at least me, from yesterday's shenanigans.
yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. The
Yeah.
shenanigans that you guys got in.
Yeah. maybe that's why I don't feel tired. I feel like kind of rejuvenated from getting to see all my friends. And
I
everything,
love that. Like when you're around your people and you
Yeah.
just
It
need like
really-
one.
It gives you like almost like a little bit of a boost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. That's why it's like, I'm so glad I still come down here because
Yeah.
I'd be like, I need to recharge my battery.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, guys. Just randomly dropping in.
I see y'all cursing. I'm like, is this censored? Is this not censored?
It's not censored. You can say what you
Yeah,
want to
do
say.
what you want.
It's all
Word.
good. We still get spicier during the Patreon episode,
Oh, okay.
but like we curse here.
Got it.
It's about
Yeah, I
that.
know with this one here.
Yeah.
Every other sentence is fucking and then come the
Fucking
noun.
shit,
The
bitch.
fucking the fucking and then the noun is that. Yeah. That's literally
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. You know what I realized, Dom? You never ask me how I'm doing. I always ask you how you're doing, and you
shit.
never ask me how I'm doing.
I feel like you normally just say it.
gather you.
All right, so then I'll just tell you.
All right, hold on. How are you doing?
Say it better.
See, it wasn't genuine. That wasn't genuine.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying, Jen.
Okay.
Say it nice. Say it nice.
Nice. How are you feeling today, Mallard?
I'll take it. That's all right. I feel tired, but in a good kind of way. We've gone to the gym every day this week. I'm like committed to going. Yesterday was leg day, and you know what I had the audacity to do? Sprint my last 20 seconds on the fucking treadmill, and my legs are like, don't do that
Jello.
again.
We advise against this.
No, because my friend, who will eventually be on the show, he like plays football and he coaches football, and he used to jog with me when I was first on my weight loss journey years ago.
Yeah.
And so he'd be like, all right, Mel, you're gonna sprint this last half a block to the end of the thing. And I was like, I don't wanna. And then he would grab my elbow and he would like force my arm to go like this, because when you do that, it makes your legs like move. What? Yeah. So I would sprint and then I'd be like, like at the end of the fucking thing. And so I was at the treadmill yesterday and I was like, I'm going to try. I'm going to try. It's been a really long time since I've been training now for a couple of months. And I'm like, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm not going to do a full minute. I'm going to give it 20 seconds. I'm not going to do that next time. I'm going to do 10 seconds.
Okay.
Because that shit, I was huffing and puffing. And it's just like, I know we're at a gym, but there's people right next to me. Oh. And it's just like, they probably hear me, like, struggling to breathe.
Especially if you're anything like me who has noise cancellation headphones. Sometimes I really do be getting lost in the gym that I'm like, wait, like, I gotta be careful. Because not only, one, sometimes, you know when you work out, your bowels start moving, okay?
Oh, my God.
I'm sure every single person who has worked out has had the urge to toot, to fart. And it just is... With those noise cancellations, it gets dangerous.
Yeah.
No, when I used to work out at Lucille Roberts when I still lived on Long Island, and I was minding my business, and there was an area where this woman was doing, she was doing squats or whatever. She farted every single time she came down, and I was like...
But you don't feel that, though?
I don't know, but because she had the weight, too, so maybe she was focused on the weights and going down... I don't know, but she did it a couple of times. Maybe she thought it was silent. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
thought it was just gliding out. But
she had headphones
That shit
on.
was fucking sound waves. You saw she's going. You see?
No, they weren't crazy though.
Literally blowing.
They weren't crazy though. They were just like wah, wah. Like, and I was like, I'm like. Trying, I'm like, I'm gonna mind my business, and she's doing a thing for herself.
You hear in the faint distance is the. You're just like, oh no.
Oh my God.
But I saw a TikTok like that of this person who they were filming their routine, and they fully know that they farted, right? Like fully did it, and they were like, whatever, like the people around me heard it. It is what it is, but at least I got my content. So he posted it, and he meant to post it on an Instagram story with a sound, with an audio.
Oh no.
And then he posted it. I guess the audio never made it on. So he posted it on his story. How, I think didn't realize, left it up for like an hour or like...
That's all you need, man. That's all you need.
And so many people had seen it, and then he realized after, he was like, no. So not only did the people at the gym hear him
Society as a whole.
Everybody.
the whole internet.
Oh my God. Nah, I'd die. I'd be so embarrassed.
It was audio, but not, you know,
Not the audio you wanted. It's like,
oh my God. Okay, so we are going to move on to our next segment, which is the meme segment. If you have not seen our episodes before, I usually scroll the internet for really cool, insightful conversation starters. And today we're going to read 2. Okay, here we go. As traumatized children, we always dreamed that someone would come and save us. We never dreamed that it would be, in fact, ourselves as adults. And this is by Alice Little. And the second one, it's messy. And I think it's a poem. Life is messy, baby. Try not to hold it so tightly in your hands. You'll squeeze the life out of it. Life can't be controlled, despite how hard you try to control it. You need to let go. Surrender to the journey. I don't think anybody really knows what they're doing here. They're just squeezing their eyes shut and praying it all works out. And this is by Sharon Marsh. I think it's a book or a poetry compilation, which Leave Her Wild. So those are the two memes. Yes.
Give your thoughts.
My thoughts first. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't want something corny about self-acceptance because that's what today's theme is. I wanted something a little bit more, I guess, I don't want to say gritty, but kind of, because it's like the self-acceptance journey is like, it's a hard one. Yeah. It's rough. It's not pretty, and it's difficult. And I feel like we battle it every day. I mean, there's some people that they're like, oh, this is me. I don't give a fuck. You could take it, you could leave it, whatever. That's not me. Amanda. I got anxiety.
That's Amanda.
That is Amanda. And good for her. You know what I mean? That she owns it and that's who she is. And it's just like, not everybody else got that though. Yeah. Like, I know that that's something that I strive to have. And so I think it starts off with little things, and that's why the part where it says like you're holding on too tight, like that life is, hold on, what does it say? It says that you'll squeeze the life out of it if you hold it too tightly in your hands. And I feel like you can even like think about it as your idea of who you are or who you want to be. If you hold on to that idea too tightly, I feel like it opens yourself to like really harsh criticism and it doesn't give you, I always talk about grace, and I say that because I don't give myself enough of it. And so it's a constant almost affirming of like giving myself the grace to be who I am, to make the mistakes, and to just grow and become the person that I want to be. And so even in that aspect, I feel like the person you want to be or the route to get there is not going to look exactly how you think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't predict every situation that happens in your life or how that's going to form you or like your reactions to it, Yeah. Like, you ever have something happen to you and you thought that you were prepared for it or you thought you'd react to it a different kind of way?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when it actually does happen, you realize you shifted differently and you're like, well, that was a surprise, And so I guess that's kind of where I was going with the self-acceptance, is that it's a difficult thing, but it's also a beautiful process. And like, you just don't want to hold on to that idea too tightly, is really what it is. And then the first one, I had to really think about it because I remember being like a little girl and like there were moments where I wished that someone would come and save me from certain situations. And, seeing who I am now, even though I'm still very, very hard on myself, I have to remind myself, and my husband Carlton does a really good job of reminding me as well, that I have made progress and that I have come to this new place in my life where I really have to, appreciate it. Like, you did grow, you did learn, you did get better. You know, life is better for you at this point. And so I'm like, there are moments where, did you take the workshop with me, the Orphaned Heart workshop? Yeah. You did, right? Do you remember the meditation for I think it's you give to the little you. It's like a short
that was an Orphaned Heart?
Was that Orphaned Heart or was that something else? I don't remember. It was in a workshop that I took or Dom took, we took, and it's essentially you taking a moment to picture yourself as like a small child and like giving them love or whatever support or whatever it is that they needed. And it's like, it's just really awesome. And so when I find myself in situations where I'm like, wow, the younger me would have loved this. I take that second to like breathe and I kind of picture myself and I practice and I'm like, here's for you, little Mel, you know? And I do that every once in a while when I realize like there's just fun stuff that you do. Like so I took my cousins and our friend Renee and my husband, you guys will eventually see Renee, to that Bounce Castle USA thing. Yeah. The bouncy house thing. When cool. I tell you that fed cool. my like little kid, I was jumping around and rolling around and oh my God, it was just so fun. And I gave it to her. I gave her a piece and I was like, for you, my friend. So yeah. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I mean, what do you guys think?
You want to go or shall I?
Okay.
Okay.
You know, we never said who wins. Okay.
So I would go, right? If I lost, that means I would go.
Oh, I guess so.
Or no, or you can go.
Okay. So the first one, hold on. I'm gonna pull them up to make sure.
I was gonna say, yeah. Can I have them?
Yes.
You can share.
Oh, okay. You got it.
Okay, so the first one, about the traumatized child. You might have a realization, or someone might have said something to you, but it just coincides with like a lesson you're learning. Like it's crazy how just things relate. It's like, is this a coincidence? And then it like inserts the thing from The Incredibles. It's like, coincidence? I think not. But
editing this is going to be amazing because you guys do the same things. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I feel like we have a lot of mannerisms that are identical. So it's from my cousin.
She said
identical.
This is 15 years of.
Yeah, no, that's true, and we spent a lot of time together, so we definitely have morphed into one. But I started realizing that with everything that has been going on in my personal life the past couple of months, and I found a couple of good, those like Instagram reel videos. I found a couple of good ones. I don't always like referring back to those because sometimes I feel like they're telling me how I should feel. It's like, you shouldn't be mad about this. You shouldn't feel sad. And it's like, bitch, I went through it. Like, yeah. Not you. Like, you're an influencer telling me how to feel about my personal experience.
Yeah.
No. But everything that has just been happening the past couple of months, I realized that as much as I can feel upset with a situation or upset with, I guess, just how, the situation, and whatever my feelings are towards multiple people, just in general, whatever encounter I have, I also need to take a step back and hold myself accountable because I, one, owe it to myself. And I feel like, two, with the whole, like, traumatized child and, like, saving yourself, that's where it kicks in, where you need to be held accountable. Like, you need to hold yourself accountable because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you.
Ugh. And I hate that they say that, but it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. Yeah. And even if somebody does come, it's temporary and it's supplemental and it's not going to fill the void.
Ooh,
and
it's supplemental.
It is.
I gotta quote you.
No, like, let me tell you something. I don't know what happens. I Palo Santo and then I write my journal. I'm like, son of a bitch, write that down.
She's like, She's like, I was doing bars.
Bars. But yeah, so I've recently come to that realization. One of my coworkers was asking me how I was doing, and it clicked also when I was just speaking out loud. And I was like, holy shit. Like, yeah, like I'm doing better on good days, bad days, but I've really come to learn that at the end of the day, I also need to look and see, well, what piece do I bring to this encounter? And how did I play an effect in this or the outcome or how I'm currently feeling? Because I've noticed that something that my inner child does is hangs on to something and immediately thinks that it was our fault. Like I did something wrong. So like if someone's having a bad day, instantly I'm like, oh shit, like I did something. And in my journal, what I do is I write to myself and like my younger child, but mainly my inner child.
Younger child.
I write to my inner child and I speak to them how I wish that someone would have spoken to me. And I'm like, you did awesome today, like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I still keep it light and funny, you know? But yeah, I just kind of realized that, wow, like it needs to be me that puts in the work and adult me that needs to put in the work. Because younger me, as much as a situation might have sucked, or even just me a week ago, as much as it sucked, I'm not there anymore. I'm here right now.
Yeah.
And the me right now needs to step up to the plate and do it. Because, again, no one's going to do it for you. And if somebody does come in, everyone has their own things going on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I can't expect somebody else to solve my problems. And even if they do, am I going to fully learn? Maybe not.
Oof.
Maybe you can, but not in every single situation. Sometimes you can relate to somebody so much and feel compassionate for their situation and empathetic. Mm-hmm. But when it happens to you, oh no, that
It's
feeling's
different.
It's a whole different.
And it's not like you can have like really similar like things happen, but at the end of the day, it's not identical. It's
Exactly.
not. It's not
Every-
identical.
Yeah. yeah.
Every experience is very unique.
Yeah. So pretty much just that. Just realizing, wow, like, whether I'm right or wrong in a situation, I need to hold myself accountable for the part that I played. Because not every single time am I going to be a victim. Sometimes I'm a villain. And, you know, I'm not going
That
around like
kills me.
punching people.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can be loose with your tongue and you might not realize you have an attitude. You might not realize what you say that triggers someone, even if you didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
And I guess what I kind of noticed is that my inner child, I actually watched a K-drama, and one of the scenes that I broke down hysterically crying, and the young girl who was getting bullied and tried to drown herself and everything, she had the realization of like, oh my God, like I just needed someone to save me. And I instantly started crying because I was like, holy shit, that's all I needed. That's all I fucking needed was for someone to just like, give me that nurturing feeling. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted was to hold me and just reassure me. That's all I need. And it just like kind of clicked. I was like, shit, that's what I need. And I'm like, okay, who can give me this? And then it's like, oh shit, I can give me this. Mm-hmm. And I need to give me this. So yeah, that first one, I was like, dang.
I know that one was heavy, but I felt it was necessary.
It was good. And then the one where it says, I don't think anybody really knows what they're doing here, and like they're just squeezing their eyes shut and praying that it all works out. That is so damn true. Even when you are in your more philosophical, you know, feels and everything, you don't know what an outcome is going to be, especially if it's an altercation with somebody else. I might know someone very well, and I might be able to predict how they are going to react, but it's not an accurate prediction because I don't know how it's going to trigger them or what wounds it's going to like punch. So
damn.
Yeah. So like the whole self-acceptance thing is wild.
It's rough, but it's worth it because we're all worth it, you know?
She said,
I'm like, huh.
What do you think?
Let me see. Honestly, I feel like I honestly feel like everybody has this sentiment at some point, whether it doesn't matter what the situation is, like you do in some way, whether it could be something small, like, or something, you know, that, let's say, was considered severely traumatizing, right? Where somebody could essentially save them. But I feel like it's definitely something that I'm starting to realize more becoming in like the 20s, like, because I like, it's reflecting back, especially on like 18, 19, like you're still a kid at that point, honestly. Like looking back,
I cringe. I'm like,
I know, looking back, I'm like, that's still a baby, like that's still a kid. But like thinking of all the, like, I can bring myself back to the feelings that I had when I was a teenager, when I was a kid, right? And like for me personally, let's say it would be like insecure, right? Like certain insecurities, right? Of why, like, do certain people like me, right? Like, why is it like this? And then it's just not looking back now, it's like, oh my God, I wish I can go back to like my 15-year-old self to be like, honey, it gets way better. Like, or it just like, trust me, like, even though most people do say that, but like, it's almost like I wish there could be literally my future self standing in front of me and being like, it's fine. Like, this does not matter, and you need to understand that. I feel like I'm still also trying to get a hold on this. I don't know how you guys feel about about like even mastering this. I feel like I'm like a baby that's learning how to walk, or like a bird that's about to learn how to fly. Like, I don't know. It just feels like I know.
You there just trying.
I'm like, I'm here 25 years, and I feel like I'm just learning about like so many things just about myself, or about like in general how life works. Like, for me, how I relate to like this second statement is mainly because like I'm in the midst of right now applying to physician assistant programs, right? I don't know,
hell crossed. Yeah.
But it's almost like it's definitely something I can't control. Like, as much as I try my hardest to get good grades, to get my hours, like for experience, like anything to make my application tip-top shape, like I could still be rejected from a school, like, and it's just like, it is what it is. And sometimes, at least, and I'm sure other people can relate, in similar process, doesn't have to be exactly in medicine, but like any sort of application process, like if you just feel like, it's like, I tried, you know yourself, like you tried your hardest, you tried your all, and like it's not being reflected back on like what the outcome is. So then you're kind of just, then you get frustrated with yourself and all that stuff, because, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I've come to terms with, listen, like, because what is it says? This is surrender to the journey. I don't think nobody really knows what they're doing here. Like, at this point, you just let things be for what they are. Because then I feel like I notice when you just let things, if you try your hardest to micromanage and control things, you drive yourself insane.
Yeah.
You drive yourself insane. And then when something doesn't, I think you mentioned something like this before, like if it doesn't, like, if there's no expected, like if you have an expected outcome, right, and it does happen, and then your sentiments aren't what you thought they were, it almost feels like this wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it was.
Like, womp womp.
Yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment.
It's almost like it gives yourself a disappointment. Or on the other hand, where it's like, if it doesn't come out the way you wanted it to be, and then you're just like distraught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's something super peaceful about letting go of what you think the situation is going to be, and that's something that I'm learning right now, is that it, like Carlton says this all the time, of it can only go but one way. And at first,
when I tell you that man say that shit to me all the time, and I'm like,
no, but it's
he's right
true.
though.
It's
he's
true.
Right.
And like when it finally clicked, I was like, it can really only go but one way. Like him and I were on the phone, and like I had the realization, and he was just quiet, because I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, Carlton, like it could only go one way because of blah 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 blah. And he's like, you got
He's
it.
like, yes, young grasshopper.
Yeah, I was like, this is how I know you know that I'm spitting, because you quiet. And he just like laughed. But
see, but where I get confused, or I feel like maybe I just haven't been able to understand it fully, is when, like, I guess when people say that you can determine like your own like outcomes, your own goals, like it's ultimately up to you, like you can make it happen. It's almost like a type of like manifestation.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just so hard for me to get that outlook. I don't know how you guys feel, but it's just like...
I think it depends.
Yeah.
I think it depends. I think you can try your hardest to, like, have, like, an intention and, like, because Dom and I, we trying to get out this middle class life.
Oh, my God.
We don't know how it's going to happen.
But it's happening.
But we're going to have it happen.
I can't do this.
I don't know. Exactly. It's like, we don't know, but we're going to fucking try our hardest. Like, one of these things is going to hit. Yeah. And if none of these things hit, we're going to, like, go down the path and something else is going to.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it's also knowing when to stop or when to walk away. Because I think sometimes people are like, well, persistence. And it's just like, okay. But also, you should know...
realistic.
Yes. Yeah. You should know when to quit. And I feel like if you gave it your best, then you should feel okay walking away. But if there's still like resentment and stuff like that, and I guess that's where the micromanaging it comes in, where it's like, oh, well, I didn't think about this little thing and this little thing. It's like, no, I think there's like bigger things that you should focus on. You do your best at those things because you can't control all the little things. Yeah. And if you get it, great. If you don't get it, that is also okay. Yeah. You know, so I think it's really just, it's also gauging the situation and gauging yourself. So it's a mixed, you know, it's either way. Yeah. It's life, you know, and that's the thing that's really frustrating because you're like, do I keep doing this thing or do I like fucking start something else or, you know?
And I think it's even as easy as something, as simple as something if it makes you happy also though.
Yeah. You're right.
Like, why not? Why not?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like the cheesy phrase of you only got one life. Like, it's very easy. Who taught me? Jin from BTS. He is always like, I'm a very simple person. Like, I just like simple things. Like, and I find enjoyment in that. He always says that, and I'm like, you know what? You're right.
It's rough, but we do our best, right? I guess. Some days we ain't gonna do our best. I'm not even gonna sit here and be like, I give my best every day. That don't happen. Some days. Melanie likes to stay in bed for a little bit longer. She don't eat. I don't necessarily stay hydrated. And I procrastinate with certain things. You know? So it's like, you can't. But I feel like as long as you get back to it and you don't give up entirely, then, like, there's always a chance. Yeah. So.
Sometimes things work out, like... Well,
don't you get mad though when people don't even do shit and they fucking just get it? And I'm just like,
I gotta bust my ass every single day. Yeah, and I'm like, I gotta beat myself up emotionally to get up and running, and still, and I'm like, how do you just so la 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 la?
Yeah, like some people. That's something that blows my mind when like some people just are so disconnected and they just be living their life, but it's everything around them is in flames. They're on fire, but they're just cha-la-la.
They're like, it's okay.
What? How do you do that?
I can't.
But
the second I even think it's getting a little hot, I'm like,
no, run away. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah. This is so nice.
You know what I wanted?
Self-acceptance.
You know what I wanted to bring up before when you were talking about the, I just remembered now, when you were talking about like healing the inner child and jumping around. I had that same sentiment just recently when I went to see The Little Mermaid.
I didn't get to see it yet. How was it?
It was so good. Oh. It was so good. Like, Halle, beautiful. Did beautiful job. Voice, amazing. The chemistry with her... And I forget his name, but whoever played Prince Eric.
Okay. I have no idea who he is.
Like, the on-screen chemistry, I was like... I'm blushing. But, like, overall, it was so cute because, like, for me personally, like, I feel like a lot of people have their favorite, like, whatever animated character, right, growing up. And, like, if... we're using specifically the Disney princesses, like, Little Mermaid was my shit. Like,
oh my God, so good. Playing little, like you were a mermaid in, like, the pool
and
shit.
Pool, always, like, trying to, like, do, like, the thing. And then you just pretend, and, like, when I was younger, I had long hair.
Did you ever, like, come up out of the water and try to
flip it? Yes, that's what I'm saying. I had long hair.
Oh my God.
So that was my go-to, and, like, you can ask my family, like, Back in the day, like
they're gonna be like, yeah, she thought she was a mermaid.
That was the tape that I used to keep rewinding because I loved it. And then there was a Little Mermaid 2 that went straight to DVD or straight to.
I liked that one.
The
it
one
was
where
cute.
she had the daughter, like she was her daughter.
I thought it was cute.
I loved the whole Little Mermaid, and then they had the show on Disney too. Like that was that was my princess, right? And then when it came to Ariel, is like now the face of the Little Mermaid because of the live action.
Yeah.
It's just like, it really is as simple things as seeing somebody that has the same skin tone and just being like, oh my God, like this is, I feel it. And it literally felt rewarding as a kid. I'm sitting there watching, like eyes are glowing, singing the songs. And I'm like, oh, this, I came out of there all like, it felt like almost a weight was taking off for just seeing it.
I love that.
I know.
That's what's so crazy is like as an adult, we overcomplicate things. And I don't know, for me personally, basically what you were saying, I find the most healing things for myself are the things that I loved doing as a child. Mm-hmm. And it's just these simple things where it's like, wow, like, why did I ever stop doing this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then you do it again as an adult and you really grow to appreciate it even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like, I don't know. I'm trying to do more of that because there's something about like childhood joy that just like it just fills you up and like it just feels so different, like bright and like it's just a wonderful feeling to have and to still be able to experience those things, you know. And just have it for yourself and just have a moment where it's just like, yeah, hell yeah, this was just something. I just did it because it seemed fun, you know?
Yeah.
You weren't thinking about anything crazy. You just let it all like go and you just did like this one little thing. And I feel like I can also get like that if I'm like on swings, like on a swing set where you like, where you twist the swings all the way. Yes.
You go all the way.
Oh my God. I love that. Or like, you know what I haven't done in a long time? Roll down a hill. Like a grass hill.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If my hill was a little bit higher, I feel like it would be fun.
We would go to your house for a barbecue. We just see Mel go, whoa!
Be like, all right, you guys want burgers? And then
she's like, brushes off the grass. She's just like, so are the burgers done? She's
oh my God.
Going down.
That's just, I love it. I'm really trying to do that because I noticed like I feel like when you start to do like reflective work and stuff, you kind of, well, for me, I'm not going to assume, but there were moments where they could have been happy when I was a little kid, but then like something fucked up happened. It, like looking at it as an adult, you're like, damn, that was fucked up. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, I'm really trying to appreciate the smaller things now, because now I'm big enough and I'm old enough to like take hold of this situation and really just like savor it. You know what I mean? And so I just think it's good. I just think it's good for you to do every once in a while. You know, color in a coloring book. That shit is fun.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that?
Yes. Painting, when we did painting with the boys.
That was so much fun, yeah.
Painting is definitely a
You
big
did a painting sip or?
No, so, well, I've done one before.
We both have done separately.
Separately. I've done one before, but then we did with some of my friends from work, we did painting pumpkins, right? Just in general, I think anything with art is like very, like, it brings you back. Like, I feel a lot of people's issues, I think most people, if not everyone's issues, a lot of things stem from childhood. Like, yeah. And it's like, and again, it doesn't have to be anything traumatic. It could just be like little things that maybe you missed out on or just you never got to experience. Yeah. For whatever reason. But like painting pumpkins, so we did that, and then one day we did like a paint. Then we ended up having so much paint supplies, and one of my younger brothers who loves art so much, he actually just got an award because they had a moving up ceremony since he's going to middle school, and he got an award, and like an art related reward for pretty much being like one of the more
The gifted
outstanding,
child. Yeah.
one of the
That's so
outstanding
he's
students.
fantastic.
So now we have
He's
this
really
little
good.
plaque in there. It's so cute. But we had all this extra supplies from painting pumpkins, so we were like, why don't we just buy a canvas and let's just start painting? So we did. We went to Michael's, bought the canvases, and then we just did it. And we did a couple nights. One of the days Dom came,
It was
and
fun.
we were just doing whatever we could come up with, and it was fun.
I
It
love
was cool.
that. Yeah, I'm like my titi Sadie, who she passed away a couple of years ago. She was a Taurus, just like me, and she could paint. I have one of her paintings, but like she had a bunch of paintings, and like she worked hard. When I tell you, this woman had like 2 or 3 jobs supporting her 3 daughters, and like and she was killing it. Like she would work in catering, and then I forgot what her other jobs were, but it's literally like she'd go to one job, change her clothes, go to the next job. Like, and that's, that's what she was doing. And I remember her telling me that the painting is one of the things that like relaxed her the most. And so I still have one that she made in like, oh my God, I don't even remember, a while ago. I think the painting's got to be like 20, 30 years old.
Oh
like,
God.
yeah. And it's of like palm trees. And I'm wondering if it's like, she pictured it in Puerto Rico, or like if it was somewhere like that she had just seen, or whatever it was. But it was a beautiful, like just canvas like this big, and she had a couple of them she did of her sisters and of my grandmother and her daughters, and it was just like she had so much on her plate, so much on her shoulders, and she still took the time to craft. And my cousins, they told me that their weekends were Saturday was you clean the whole house, and then Sunday they'd stay in their pajamas and she'd have them do a crafting project.
Wow.
And they would just craft whatever it was. She always had them doing something. So she had a craft room in the back of her house, like the last room. There was also her smoking room. And she had so much crafting supplies back there. And she used to make these sick, like Santa Clauses for Christmas, where she would get an ornament, like a little Santa Claus ornament head. And then, do you know it's like a paper, it's almost like a paper rope. It's like twisted. And it's like really tight, and they come in like bundles. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I can picture it.
Well, I'll show you a picture, but she used to, so it's paper, and it would be tightly like twisted, and it would turn into a rope. And then you would take that, I don't know what the hell you would do with it, but she would spend apparently days untwisting the rope, and then she would turn it into like a little like body. And then she would attach the little Santa Claus head on top. And she'd make like a whole, like the figurine things were like this
God.
big. Yeah, she had a couple of them. And it's just like, and I'm like, how the hell did you have time when you were doing all that crazy shit, But she still made time. And I think that's why she was so much at peace, like towards the end of her life. Because she took that time to like really take care of herself.
Yeah.
And I feel like the crafting, like you were saying, it feeds like the inner child, and I think that's kind of one of the things that got her through it. So it's like that's why I think I'm like, I gotta get back into crafting, man.
Well, there's such thing as art therapy. It's
Yeah,
very
that's true.
real.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh man, this was such a good conversation,
Right.
y'all. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about the gayness.
That's true.
At
Well,
all.
that is a part of self-acceptance.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Like, I see Kevin laughing. He's like, yeah.
He's like, when are you getting
No,
to it?
no.
I'm
Kevin
just
the
kidding.
whole time was like, and it's like we didn't even get to the gayness. That was Kevin.
Kevin set up. No, but for real. And it's actually funny because, like, with my self-acceptance, and I think I mentioned this before, I was inaccurate, though, because I was thinking about it the other day. The first time I somewhat started to come close to my self-acceptance was when I was talking to Ange. But so Danielle actually was, because like I said, there were always hints. Everybody knew. When I told my cousin, he was like, yeah, I kind of figured. But he was like, I was waiting for you to just say something. But with the whole self-acceptance thing, I want to say about 2 summers ago, I remember I was driving to work and I just was hysterically crying and praying in my car. And it just kind of hit me that I'm not at home with myself because I don't fully accept myself. And I put up this facade of always being so happy and funny and like the goofy friend. When internally I'm like, yeah, I feel like crap. But then I give Danielle a lot of credit with like my self-growth, even from a child, because all the shitty things that like emotionally that I would deal with as a kid that like didn't feel the best, I found like a form of escapism for me is hanging out with my friends, and Danielle and I would constantly be hanging out. So thinking about it, I'm like, holy shit, like a lot of my self-acceptance comes from Danielle, because like when she was speaking to us about her self-acceptance, I just felt her bravery for doing that, and I was like, son of a bitch.
You're gonna make me get teary.
So
I'm like,
I'm
what?
already getting teary.
I'm like, oh my
This
god.
feels like those Sweet 16 speeches.
Oh,
Come get your candle.
I wish I have to
But,
dig out the video for mine.
I was hysterically
completely
crying.
side note. I was hysterically crying. She was hysterically crying.
Yeah.
And then in the pictures we're like,
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. doll.
But yeah, so like a lot of my self-acceptance, I think also too, because I still am very weird, but as a child I was very weird, and where we went to school,
there was no
it was
weird
it was
people?
very it was very whitewashed, and like also too a lot of like, just think of if
You're
Taylor
not-
Swift
you're
in
not
her
ex-
country era went to our school and there was multiple of them, that was it. So like being a little bit weird and stuff like that, just like
it also
crazy
sets you
and
apart even more.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So like I always felt like I was a little bit different and weird, but I was just funny. Like people just thought it was funny, so I was able to make friends very easily. But there was still that part of me internally that felt like, oh shit, like I don't like who I am. I don't like who I am. Even though like the one thing that I will always be confident in is my sense of humor, because I'd be making myself crack hell up. But
Literally.
Every-
she won't even get the fucking joke out, and she's
Yeah.
just laughing
She's like-
hysterically.
give me a minute.
she's like, like silently.
But yeah, like Danielle has just constantly been a rock for me with my self-acceptance, because no matter what it was I did, no matter how weird I was or how loud my laugh was or just something stupid that like wasn't funny, she'd just be like, yeah, right. Like she just would let me be me. And then when Danielle, you know, spoke about her sexuality and everything, it made me be like, what the fuck am I scared of? And I just was like, holy shit, like, you're brave. You're brave! So on that FaceTime call, I was like, I have a confession to make. And like, you know, that's when I was like, yeah, I too am a part of the community. But-
too.
That's how she really said it?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Basically.
Basically, but no. But yeah, so a lot of my self-acceptance just really came from Danielle just not really giving a shit. Like I feel like we don't give a shit in different ways. Like I'm just ready to fight every 5 seconds, and I feel like for you, you're definitely like my calming factor, because I would be fucking amped about something, and you're like
it's like if something like crazy happens, it's just like,
yeah.
like
And I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? And like, even just again with the whole self-acceptance thing and herself, Danielle's just not afraid to be herself and genuinely be herself. Like, it's not like just a front that she's putting up of like, oh yeah, like, you know,
Like, this is who she is.
yeah,
This is
like
exactly
she
what
just
you
is
get
very
in.
much like, yeah, okay. And
I feel like you wouldn't accept any less, though, because,
mean?
like, from, like, a friend, I feel like
Yeah,
you
'cause-
want people to be as real as as
I want people to be themselves and like accept themselves. But yeah, like I just like 2 summers ago just really had that like dark night of the soul where I kind of realized like, oh shit, like for me to find happiness, I have to find it within myself. And yeah, like I said, like Danielle has just always really been like that beacon of light where I'm like, shit. And like I'm still learning this now of like, sometimes I'm so hard on myself that it's bullying. Like I'm literally hazing myself, and I'm like, yo, dog, what the fuck are you doing?
well, they say
But,
you're
like-
always your your
biggest critic.
Yeah.
Biggest critic and worst enemy. Something like that.
Some
your biggest worst enemy.
I'm like, I'll give it.
But yeah, like I'm so hard on myself, and something that I'm learning that is a part of becoming self-aware is realizing how hard I am on myself. But then also on a lighter note, something that kind of helps me is when I start getting like just beating the shit out of myself. I think, and I'm like, damn, like this person loves me because of this, or this person likes me because of this, or this person wants me in their life because of this. And it makes me think, I'm like, damn, like, why can't I feel that for myself? Why can't I see that in myself? So it helps me a lot with doing that. For my self-acceptance is just if someone gives me some like a compliment or is just nice, it or nice to me as well, it makes me feel like, damn, like why can't I do this for myself? And instead of pitying myself, I'm like, I can do this for myself. What am I even saying? Mm-hmm. And like it really helps a lot, but it helps having friends.
I know she said a lot just now, but like I'm curious because I know Dom was like super nervous when she was getting ready to come out to certain people. Like, what was your feelings like? What was it like for you when you were telling her about yourself, and then what was it like then being on the receiving end of her then coming out to you?
I feel like I'm trying to think of my sentiments because I never felt like it was almost like a coming out. It was just more like we kind of had these sentiments that were kind of already known, like thrown around, like with the way. Because listen, people will be specific with how you word things. I know I've been intentional with how I word things. Right? It's always like a joke. Always be like when you specify like my partner, right? My partner in the future, blah blah blah. It's like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, like
right? Like throwing in like certain things. So I feel like I never really felt, and because of I think our bond and like especially with all of our other close friends, it never felt scary to be like, it'll just be like, hey, like for let's say with a person, like say, oh, like I'm seeing this girl. It felt fine. It didn't feel like anything like I was just like terrified, shaking in my boots kind of thing. Like, I'm like, I'm scared to say it. But like being on the, like then with the receiving end of hearing it, it's just almost like I understand. It's nice that I can be like, I understand what you're feeling. Yeah. Whether it may not be the same, it's like, I understand like how the sentiments, and even then it's almost like, I think the scariest part is almost just saying it out loud. Mm-hmm. I think it's not really telling people. It's just almost like hearing yourself say it out loud. Yeah, I think it's. I'm not really wasn't never really afraid of people's reactions because listen, at the end of the day, I know there's always gonna be people who have certain reactions to, especially certain, I guess, controversial things. But it's more, I think, because of that whole societal pressure and just what the norms are. And then that even though we're in a much more modern age where a lot of things are more accepted, it's still, you still feel almost like a little bit of like, it's not a thought in my head anymore. Like it's out loud. Like I've said it. It's, you can't take it back, like almost kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's so...
Because she was having a panic attack when she was getting ready to tell her other friend. Yeah. And I was just like, because you came in just...
Well, that for multiple reasons. Yes. That was a hot mess.
She was very distraught. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to go tell her. And I'm like, okay. And here's the thing. I was like, either way, like, I didn't picture the person, like, being like, oh my God. I didn't picture that at all because I felt like they had built enough of a friendship that, like, it would have been accepted regardless. But it was just like, but I understood also, like, the anxiety of coming out.
I think like I said before, the more of the fear is just like, you're doing it. Like, the act of doing it is almost just...
Yeah. Like, after you say it, it feels great, but it's really, it all relates back to the self-acceptance of it, because you may feel it, but then actually being able to accept yourself. And that's what the craziest thing too is, like, if you accept yourself, a lot of times if someone else doesn't accept you, if you can build that relationship with yourself, you're like, damn, wait, all right, well, if you don't like me, fuck you, because you don't like me because of this.
Which is easier said than done, when it comes to certain things, right? Because, so, when I came out, like, there was a particular person that I came out to, that didn't necessarily come out to, they found out. And they had somebody else tell me that it was wrong. Yeah. And so, and the person relaying the message was like, listen, I am also bi, and I'm not about to tell you that it's wrong. Like, this person is telling me to tell you this thing, but I'm not going to tell you that because that literally makes me a hypocrite. And, like, that doesn't make sense. And so, it's just, like, I've had, like, and I didn't have the worst reactions, right? Because I know that there are people that face violence and, like, homelessness and things like that. But it was just, like, it just made me sad because, like, my mom was like, oh, you're bi-curious? And I was like, no, I'm bi, because I say that in the previous episode, and then this other person finds out, and then they're like, tell her it's wrong. And then one of my exes, like, took it as a green light to be like, well, now we can do all sorts of stuff. And I was just like, you know, at the time I was like, no, like, just because I'm bi doesn't make me not monogamous. Yes. You know what I mean? And I think, and that was what was also driving me crazy, was like, they couldn't get it through their heads that it was like, yeah, but I just want one partner. And they were just like, no, but, like, for us, like, we could have fun for us. And I'm just like, but I don't want to. It's not fun for me. Like, it was just ridiculous. And so I think that that's also a thing of coming out, that it took me a second to even come out to my husband, which is, like, he is one of the kindest people in the world. And, like, his respect for women in general is, like, it goes above and beyond. And so, like, even knowing who he was, I was nervous. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because there's that thought in the back of my mind that's like, is this person gonna then sexualize me in this way because of my preferences, you know? And that, I think, was scary. That was another scary aspect. But, you know, we talked about it. And he was just really sweet, and he was just like, okay, yeah. And he's just like, I'm not gonna do what the other person did, like. And I was like, okay, great, because that shit fucking sucked. So, you know, and I think that's why I kind of went back into the closet, because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get taken advantage of again, you know. So it took me a while to come back out and, like, to really come to terms with it. And by a while, I mean, like, last year, the past 2 years, I'm finally, like, saying it out loud. So if you hear me say it 1,000,000 times, it's not for you, it's for me.
Yeah.
Ew.
That's what it is. Because I'm not gonna keep pretending. And it's also, like, I'm with a partner that respects me for, like, all of me. And it's not like a little treat or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a part of you, and it's like, this isn't something that's, like,
very real. I'm not. Yeah, it's very real. I'm not putting on a facade. I'm not playing just whatever, a game of just whatever for just personal things. Like, it's very real, and it's
scary too.
Yeah, like, and I think what also another part is makes it scary is essentially because obviously a lot of it ties into personal, like, very vulnerable sides of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just, like, personhood, woman, or, like, person side of, like, your personal side of, like, your humanity, almost, like, okay, because let's say it deals with essentially sex life, right? Yeah, which is very personal. So you're essentially making yourself vulnerable. Like, just getting the idea of just saying it to people, it's almost like you're showing a vulnerable side, because you know, like, all right, this is your interests. But on top of that, it's also, like, romantic-wise. Like, it's just, you know, that stuff, at least for me personally, I'm very protective over. So when it's, like, the fact of just sharing that with people, I think that what also makes it scary is just because you're almost unveiling a side of yourself that it's like,
It leaves you open.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I mean, like, with a good group, and that's not to say that that like everyone you tell is going to be nice and kind, but it's crazy because personally, I came up with these scenarios in my head of like, oh, these people aren't going to want to hang out with me anymore.
Oh my
like this
God,
and that.
yes. And then you start making up. Yeah.
And like when I told my ex, and I was like shaking in my fucking boots because I was like, oh my God, like what if this is a deal breaker for him? What if he looks at me differently? And I just remember like him and I were in my car talking, and he was just like, he also was another person that made me realize like, oh shit, like why am I condemning myself? And like he literally told me, he was like, and I was scared to tell him because first of all, I'm scared to be vulnerable. We all know this.
Yep.
And when I said it to him, I just like I felt like I couldn't hold it in anymore. And when I said it to him, he just like, he didn't shock me with his reaction, but a part of me felt shocked because in my head, I came up with this whole elaborate thing of how he's going to be like, get away from me, this and that.
Yeah.
And he literally just gave me wise words. And like, he grabbed my hand and he was like, listen to me. If someone ever tries to make you feel like shit because a preference that you have, and like for me, it's just about love. Like I love loving people, even though and
I'm
she
loves hard.
Oh
like
my God.
Once you break past this hard exterior, is nothing but love and attention and affection.
That's true.
And it's just like I cannot say it enough. Dom is one of the most beautiful people I have ever met. I'm so grateful that I started to go back to college when I did.
it's because I stand BTS.
So
But
everything
sure.
it happened. It all happens for a reason. Can you imagine that? Like if
I didn't meet her, oh my God.
crazy.
You know how many things that she's like helped me through? Like, okay, this is how good Dom is. She's like, and this might seem small to everybody else, but this was big to me. She calls me. She's like, hey Mel, you got space to talk? And I was like, I do. However, I'm really high right now and I'm having some serious anxiety because I'm also going through something. Can we just work this out really quick? And then I can totally have the space and the capacity to like be there for you. And she was like, yeah, sure. Okay. And then she just chilled with me on the phone until my high came down just enough that I could be a regular person again.
She was floating.
And she like helped me, like, I don't even remember what it was that we were talking about. But, she helped me through that. And she was just so sweet and so like patient and just like, it's just wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. And that allowed me to then reciprocate and give her the space and the attention that she needed. And it's just like, you're not going to find a better friend.
Thanks.
Yep.
You're not going to find a better friend than Dom. I swear.
I am on eBay. You can find me on Amazon. But like I just noticed that on the self-acceptance journey, I am my biggest fucking bully. And I create these scenarios in my head of just this and whatever. And like the perfect example with my ex where I literally thought like I was about to get hazed, like cyberbullied. And he literally was just like, grab my hand and just told me, like, if someone doesn't love you or accept you for who you are, fucking walk away.
Hell
like, fuck
yeah.
that person. And I was like, it made me feel nice because I felt accepted and everything, but then it also helped shut up those voices in my head because that's what gets me so worked up. Like, same thing with talking to Oshia. Even though I knew that we had this solid friendship, which I think I would have eventually, like, said to you, and like my other friends, but it was because they said it first. Like I was like, you can't bully me because we in the same community. So like, if we both fruit, how the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so like just the whole self-acceptance thing is because I can be very nice to other people, but I'm not the nicest person to myself. And I've just realized how big of a key that is in self-acceptance, is that I need to be, as cliche as it sounds, I need to be my best friend first and foremost. Mm-hmm. And it's hard, but when you start to realize a lot of things work out how they should, even though something might hurt, it might not feel the best, but everything worked. Bless you. I saw it in my peripheral.
Bless your soul.
Bless you. And they're like, ah! Hocus pocus, god damn it.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. See, I told you, the two of them were going to do the same thing.
I think what's helped also with self-acceptance in terms of sexuality, with coming to terms with whichever LGBTQ, whatever questioning. I think it's usually also what helps, at least for me personally, is surrounding yourself by others in the queer community as well, because you'll have people who essentially they already kind of went through what you're going through now. It really does help to have the guidance, and sometimes when you see other people living in their true selves, it really does give you like the drive to be like, I want to get to that point. How I get there, we'll see, but or we'll figure it out along the way. But it really, I think it is a big help, and I think personally, like having like I don't understand like when people always like want. I feel like I used to have the sentiment of being like wanting to be isolated. It's like I'm gonna live alone, I'll do all this stuff, whatever. And I'm like, you don't realize how much you need community. Like it really like there's. Just for in general survival, like in general, like it's just how am I thinking of how to word this? But you definitely need that surrounding, that presence of people who you're comfortable with, because being alone, it
does take a toll.
It really does. It really does take a toll on your health, like both physically and mentally. So like I really think. At least, this is my opinion, I think a lot of people, if they feel like they're kind of lost, especially within the queer community, they're trying to navigate themselves, is a good way is to bring yourself around others who know, because it's just easy as talking with them, even though your experience may be different than theirs. Yeah. You can kind of almost cherry pick, like, oh, I can relate to that sentiment that you have. Or like you learn from the stories that they tell you, and then you can kind of go based off of that. It helps.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Am I the Asshole?
Woo.
Woo. Okay, so this is a silly Am I the Asshole, but I just thought it was kind of funny. So here we go. Am I the asshole for throwing away my mom's sandwich?
Okay.
My mom always packs a snack whenever she travels, usually a ham and cheese sandwich. I was driving her to the airport this morning, and on the ride down, it came up that she hadn't had time to go to the deli and had packed herself a tuna salad sandwich instead. I asked if it was to eat in the airport. Nope. She's saving it in case she gets peckish mid-air. I tried to tell her that tuna isn't something you should really be eating in close quarters with recycled air, that the smell would probably bother other people. She was adamant that there was nothing wrong with it. I told her that if I was on that plane, it would bother me. She didn't budge. So while she was unloading her luggage from the trunk, I snuck the sandwich out of her carry-on and tossed it in the garbage. She didn't notice until she got through security, and then I got a pissed-off text. I told her to get something in the airport, and I'll pay her back, but tuna really isn't a plane-friendly snack. Am I the asshole?
Yes. I feel like majority of these Am I the asshole, I feel like they're always, most of the time, like, yeah, you are.
I don't know. The ones that Mel's been picking...
For the most part, they're not the asshole. Not. They're just with fucking crazy people.
Yeah. For this one, I don't know. Yes. I feel conflicted. I would say
because you don't like seafood.
No, but
tuna is damn good.
All right,
tuna is great. I do understand the close quarters thing, but that's her fucking sandwich.
Well, no, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I want to say yes, you are the asshole because yes and no. I'll give my reasoning for both. Yes.
I was gonna say you pick one.
I can't because
you have
like
to pick one.
I
Life
can't
or death,
do
you
it.
have to pick one.
Then I pick feeling indifferent.
Ugh.
It is one. Well, listen, you didn't fucking make that sandwich. That was her sandwich. I get that you're looking up other people's backs, but sometimes you gotta go through something to build character development. So maybe you just need someone to have a fucking rancid tuna sandwich next to you for you to just realize certain
Is
things
tuna
about
really
life.
that strong? I'm really sitting here. I know that it'll make like the lunchbox smell, but like how long do you really think the tuna sandwich is gonna sit in the air? She fucking eats it.
Well,
And then here's the thing: she can throw away the wrapper as soon as the oh my god, the flight attendant comes by and like does the garbage bag. So then boom, your tuna's gone. So if anything, her breath is just kicking.
yeah.
And then she could just have gum.
I mean, I get it that homegirl's trying to look out for other people, but
Tuna sandwich is one of my favorites.
why you touch her sandwich?
I love tuna.
Do you toast your bread or do you leave it?
I toast it.
Oh my god. So fucking good. Have you ever had a tuna melt?
Yes.
I started making tuna melts because the deli by my house makes them. It's so fucking
It's
good.
so good.
Pepper jack cheese. Who would have
sounds so
thought?
good.
It's fantastic.
Literally my favorite snack when I was dorming was tuna with mayo and my Ritz crackers.
Oh, you're a Ritz crackers? I'm saltines all day.
No, that's
You like
fire.
Ritz?
I like Ritz. I love them.
You like Ritz?
I'm like Ritz on their own are
Oh
delicious.
no. Saltines. Saltines are so much better by themselves.
Saltines are when you're sick and you got diarrhea.
Absolutely not. Saltines are
Ritz.
fantastic. Listen, there were plenty of saltines that sacrificed their lives so my grandmother could have a place to store her rice. Okay?
Wait.
Saltine. You can't do shit with Ritz. What, you gonna put the rice in the box?
You got a point. You got a point.
You guys are like, Ritz, saltines, Ritz. And I'm like, you guys ever had matzo crackers? Yo, let me fucking tell you something about matzo crackers with butter. Fucking butter.
Yeah.
Oh my god, clog my goddamn arteries because woo.
Carlton can't stand matzo. He thinks they're the blandest, worst cracker.
What cracker is it?
It's the
Matzo
matzo. They're
crackers?
the big crackers that come in that box. They're like
How do you
like
spell it?
records. You pull them out, they're huge.
M-A-T-Z. No.
The plain ones are good, but then you have the everything.
Oh, never had that.
Yes. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about now.
You spread margarine on that. It's so good.
She's been upstate for too long.
I
She
still
said
like
margarine.
Ritz.
She turns
Because
her butter.
margarine and butter are different. Margarine is
I
the
know.
soft spread. We
But-
don't have that in my house anymore. We only have butter. How the fuck you gonna put that hard ass butter on your fucking matzo
You
cracker?
melt the butter a little bit. You soften it. You soften the butter.
I don't think I still. I guess.
Or
I
you
feel like
heat
you
the
gonna
matzo cracker up.
Or you just don't. You get not real butter.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's not butter.
I used to love that shit. We don't do that no more. I have regular butter. I miss it, but yeah, no. Matzo crackers are the shit. Carlton doesn't understand why I love them. They're fantastic. It's a childhood snack.
Yes.
Ritz.
Saltines are the best. They're consistent. That are like oyster crackers. You ever had an oyster cracker? No. The small little round ones that go into soup. Right? Thank you, Kevin. Kevin approves.
Ritz.
Like Ritz, I don't know what it is about the Ritz. It's like there's something there that I'm like, I don't really like it like that. And the way it kind of dissolves in your mouth is
That's
different.
why I like it. That's why I like the way it literally.
It disintegrates into like a bunch of itty bitty crumbs.
That's what I felt as a kid. I would literally put them in. I would just let them sit, and they would just.
She's like, I'm really a simple person.
Back to the asshole.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
They're the asshole.
I say yay and nay.
I say yes because one, mom made the sandwich for herself.
Yeah.
This is the routine. This is
And
the
he's
thing
not
that
gonna
she
be on the
does.
plane.
He's not gonna be
he's
on
not
the
gonna
plane.
be the one that's hungry.
And who's to say that somebody's gonna actually have the problem with it?
Yeah.
Most people probably already stank themselves. So you telling me the tuna
Tuna's the problem, but you didn't shower for 6
Could you
days.
imagine if she went in without the tuna sandwich and somebody next to her was eating a tuna sandwich?
Yeah. Yeah, like that's yeah. I'm leaning more towards yes because it's like
Why you gotta throw her
Yeah,
sandwich out?
just-
Like, now she's not gonna have nothing to eat because
And she
Yeah.
got to pay airport prices. He's like, go buy a
Yes.
sandwich at the airport. Okay, so I'm going to pay $30 for this fuck
Yes.
ass little
also
sandwich.
too, they're not always the best, you know.
They're not.
Sometimes you gotta pick
No.
them and stuff. But then I say no because like I get that you're trying to watch other people's backs, but again, you gotta let people learn.
So you're saying that he should have just let his mom have the tuna sandwich and had the people on the plane complain to her that she had that tuna sandwich?
It's character developing for all
I was
parties
gonna say, but
involved.
listen, Mama would have been like, "I'll deal with the consequences then."
Yeah.
If people had a problem with it.
Let me tell you
I
something.
don't
If somebody told my mother that something was wrong with her tuna fish sandwich and fucking put, you not gonna hear the end of it. That whole flight.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
All right. So across the board, kind of, sort of, asshole, not asshole,
Asshole.
asshole.
I'm leaning more towards yes, but I do
Yes.
understand.
All right.
She said yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Would you like to tell the people where they can find you?
You can find me at Daniela Lala _ on Instagram. I'm mostly active on there. You can find me on Twitter, but honestly, Twitter is also my unhinged area that I mostly tweet about BTS. So like, but it's DANILXVE.
All right. Dom,
Yes.
what you got for us today?
All right. So now it is time for our affirmations.
Affirmation.
So silent drum roll, please. Okay, that's what I thought. Our first affirmation is I stand in the joy I create from within.
Oh, shit.
That was good, right?
Yo, you hitting these affirmations. Tell them again.
All right. The first affirmation is your mother. I'm kidding.
Oh my God. And just like that, you gotta fuck it up.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. I do.
Make it nice. Say it nice.
Wait. Your mama.
He's like, hi, you man. Your mama. So once more, I stand in the joy I create from within.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then I have 2 for today.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I did some work, I know.
All right.
The second one is I hold the key to my own happiness.
Oh, shit.
It's very true.
She's
Fucking
spitting
bars.
fire today.
Bars. But yeah, I hope that either or both of these affirmations resonate with you. And that if they don't resonate right now, that maybe you could do a little what is it called? Self-finding?
Reflecting? Soul searching.
you could
Oh,
do-
see, you fucked me up when you used a different word.
It's like,
I'm
like
sure you're
still
not
here,
part
like-
Italian. Danielle's still doing the
I
match.
was
She's like,
like,
carry the 3.
so-
What do you mean?
That was very Italian of you.
What did I...
You fucked me up.
I don't know, man. I
Have you
just...
done genetic testing?
No, I have not.
We look and it just says Sicily.
That should be a podcast episode idea.
Oh,
For you guys
doing
to
our,
do.
like 23andMe?
You guys should do some sort of genetic testing.
Whoa.
And then both of you guys discussing the results together.
Hell
That'd be
yeah.
cool.
All right.
That's a good one.
That is a really good one.
And if it does not, then hopefully it will resonate eventually. And if it doesn't, then you're whack. I'm kidding.
That's a
It
new
doesn't.
one. It's
I know.
nice.
I was singing. Do I go with the same thing?
You gotta switch it up sometimes.
Gotta switch it up. But yeah, come back for more. So
More.
then maybe those will resonate with you.
Yes.
And you can find us on a couple of different platforms.
Yes.
We're on YouTube,
Yes.
Instagram. We have an email. We have a TikTok.
Oh, she said it this time.
I know.
Yes.
I always forget one. There's always one that just lingers in the background, and I feel like it's always TikTok.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Mellard, what is our name?
Talk your shift on all platforms.
Like, comment, subscribe so they can bring me
Oh
back.
yeah, we didn't say we didn't get to go through that.
Yes.
So please do us a huge favor. Leave us a rating on whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it be YouTube. Leave a comment. like, subscribe, and when you are clicking those buttons, especially the subscribe button, what I want you to do is I want you to practice go like that, and then go like that, and do a Bruce Lee 1-inch punch. I want you to right to the subscribe button, and I want you to clobber that shit. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, awesome. Give us a 5-star rating.
5 stars. 5 stars.
Yeah. If you think we deserve 0 stars, I think you should touch grass. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Your mama.
Oh my God. See why they're besties? It works. It works, guys. It works.
But yeah, please do us that favor. It'll help us out a lot. What is it that you say? It'll bump us up?
To more recommended podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be our friend.
Be our friend. Be our friend.
I thought it was be our guest.
It is, but I...
Oh, remix.
Exactly.
Catch up.
All right. So thanks again for joining us.
I'm so happy that I was here.
This is good.
I had a good time.
Okay.
I love talking. I love chatting.
And she is going to be joining us on a Patreon episode with Kevin, who has been awesomely waiting in the background. Woo! All right. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.